Alright guys, got a video for you here from the workbench. Today I'm going to be talking about the Packout Med Kit that I built. I just bought this normal Packout box and then I threw together my own stuff in it to make a IFAK, a individual first aid kit. I did a few different things to this one, and I also have a way that you can put these back here and get this to wall mount. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you how to make these, how to print these. Super easy, super cheap. They even have a little locking latch that I can get into later. But let's jump right into why you would want to use a Packout setup instead of just a normal kit you can buy from the store. And I already briefly touched on it a little bit. These have the capability to stack on top of each other. So if you have a tool kit, if you've got some of like the bigger rolling Packouts, this can pop right on top, and wherever your tools go, you're working at. So then this will be right there where the work's happening or anything like that. Even if you got these other little smaller ones, they all just lock right on. Super nice. This one I'm just using as an example. I got other parts in it, but you could use a smaller one for different med kit stuff. If you had one you wanted to keep a lighter kit and run that, and then a bigger one, or they even have the super wide ones. But I chose this because it's a medium size. It's deep enough to get some of the stuff in here that wouldn't fit in the shallow one, and I couldn't go down to the shallow one and sacrifice some of the stuff that I feel like I needed in here. And yeah, it's super nice, super easy to open. Hopefully you guys can see that. Get it going right there. I'm right-handed. You can flick it open with just one hand, left hand or whatever. Pretend it's laying flat and my right hand's hurt. I can still get it open with one hand, especially if it's my dominant hand. And to that same perk, I mean, if you have a younger kid or somebody who struggles to open up other waterproof med kits or anything like that where it's a different type of clasp system, this is super easy for people to get open. And then, like I said, it's waterproof. It's got that gasket and everything up top, so it's super nice. Just a good platform, I feel like, to build on, but it's not uber necessary for everybody. It's definitely a little bit pricey just for this empty box. I can't remember how much it is and how much they are now, but it's decently pricey. If you use their if you buy their medkit one, you can use your HSA on it, but I don't really recommend doing that. I'll talk a little bit later on some of the individual things I have in here. You can still use your HSA and buy that, and I'll get into that later. But yeah, super easy to open up. Get it open. You can lay this lid all the way flat. You can have little kids open it. You can wall mount it. You can attach it to your tools if you're going on a trip and you normally have this hooked up on the wall in the bathroom, which we do in our case. You can just pop it off the wall, go out to the truck, put it on the toolkit. Now you have this nice med kit going on vacation with you or whatever. And I can't tell you how many times on the job site, because I work in the trades, somebody will get hurt. Somebody gets their pinky ripped off in a hammer drill, all kinds of stuff, and nobody can find where the med kit is because it's buried in the gang box with 500 tools on top of it because nobody ever thought we needed it. But something like this, if you have it hooked right onto the top of your kit, or even if it's a little bit farther down, you can take the stuff off above it and access it. And if you have it farther up, right on the side, and that's why I have this tape here, and I'll get into that, but right on the side so you know which one it is. And you can still access it when people are panicking and blood starts squirting. Normally, all the med kits disappear somehow as soon as somebody gets hurt. So I think the big thing for that is just having it as easily accessible as you can. If your main hand gets hurt and you got your left hand and you need a tourniquet and you got to put it on your arm and you can't get this off the wall, or it's buried somewhere and you can't throw the crap off of it to get to it and you're bleeding out the whole time, or you need a younger person to grab something for you and they can't get to it, it's up high or something. I think this is a good platform for making it really easy and accessible, which in my opinion is one of the most important things. It doesn't matter what you have in here. If you can't get to it, or no one knows where it is, or they don't know that it's a med kit, then that becomes a big problem really fast. So we might as well just dig right into the stuff I have in here. I'm not going to make this a video on like what you need in your first aid kit. This is what I feel like is good for our house and what suits us. I have different stuff in different areas. This is just one kit that we have. I have a truck kit, different pack out kits, but this is just the one I feel like will be pretty good for showing off in this video. Right over here, I don't want to grab them all out. I'm going to make a big giant mess, but a ton of different Curade waterproof Band-Aids. And I can post these in the description or whatever. They give you a giant box of them, all different sizes. I mean, you got big ones, you got little tiny finger ones. If you're observant, you can tell I already got one on my finger. I got a splinter yesterday and it's kind of getting a little nasty, so I put some triple antibiotic on it and cleaned it all up, but I just need to cover it a little bit. And this is perfect for that. I had to put it on with my offhand, my left hand. I guess I'll show you guys real quick how these Band-Aids work. Let me just sacrifice a small one that I'm not really going to care about. And of course, I have them all jumbled up. I just made the jumble worse when I was messing around in there, and the kids get in there, everybody gets in there, it gets jacked up. So they got really nice, hopefully you can see it, numbering on there. So number 1's this big tab right away. Peel number 1 off, put it on the spot you hurt. Peel number 2 off, push it down, and then number 3 is left, and that's the top piece. When you peel number 3 off, you can really see the waterproof seal that it's got going. Super nice, really nice Band-Aids, especially for how cheap they are. But comes off super nice too. So we went over the Band-Aids over here. I have a whole section for them. That's one of our honestly most used areas, so I gave it a whole container by itself. Over here, Rescue Essentials, really great website to order off of. I don't think they do HSA, but they're so cheap it doesn't even matter. They have bulk deals, they have separate little package deals. Really like Rescue Essentials for some med kit stuff, and I'm not sponsored by them, I'm just saying that. But I got some BZK towelettes, sting relief pads. Those are a heavy hitter around here too. In Michigan, we use these all the time. Anti-itch, another big one we use all the time. And I like these because it says super legibly when they expire and everything. So it's not too much digging around to figure out, hey, is that expired? Can I still use it? More anti-itch. We're to the gills on those because we use those all the time. Burn gel, another big one. Super nice. I like having those. Don't need them till you need them. When you do, it's super nice to have. And then this middle compartment, I have it more so rather than the saline, which is just a big one, so it fit in there. But it's like the oh crap pocket or compartment, I should say. You reach in here if I'm blocking it. You reach in here if stuff's a little crazier. So you got chest seals, twin packs, the hyphen vents, tourniquet, tourniquet, nothing crazy. These two, I'll just throw out the disclaimer in the video. I was trained in these for my work. I got the opportunity to put these on a lot of people. When we have some of these that expire, which reminds me I should check when my crap expires because I haven't opened this in a while. Still good for a couple years. But got the opportunity when this stuff expires and you buy new ones to put it on people in scenarios where they say, okay, this guy just got his hand cut off. What are you going to do at work? And kind of blessed to be able to do that and get paid to do that at my work and just be super safe with it. But I think if you're going as far as buying these, you should go as far as putting this on with one hand, your offhand, having your wife put it on you, having one of your kids put it on you. I mean, stress to them it's not a toy. This will cut off circulation, and it's definitely not a toy, but get them comfortable with it, because I've seen, and I'm sure there's a lot of other examples, but when the blood's squirting and the adrenaline's pumping and people are in shock and it's scary and all this stuff, all the excuses, or I guess I shouldn't say excuses, the scenarios, all that stuff starts happening. all of a sudden people can't figure out how to lock these down, don't know how the windlass works, don't know how to get this to stick, all kinds of stuff. So buy a couple, get them, use them, get comfortable, sit down with everybody. If you just have one set to sacrifice, have a couple people do it and everyone will see it, and then just cycle them through. Oh, they're about to expire, let's put them on somebody. So this stuff, it's only useful if you know how to use it and when to use it. Really good examples on YouTube. I think Prep Medic might be his account. I can post some links if you guys are interested, but some real life good examples of these being used and times these have failed and things like that. But that's just a little rant I'm getting on now. But if you have this stuff, make sure you know how to use it. Wound packing, gauze, I think that's from Rescue Essentials as well. North American Rescue. 3x5, super nice. Rip this open, start putting it in. I like this a lot. Tape, all different kinds of stretch gauze. These little sticky, you can see there's freaking blood on it. Some of this, what do they even call this? I just usually call it like wrinkly gauze. It sticks to itself. Super nice, I like this stuff. So you might be thinking, okay, I mean, there's a decent amount of stuff in there, but that's not enough for a whole med kit. Well, there's space in between all these compartments as well, and space underneath all these compartments. So got scissors, tape, tweezers, necessity. I mean, I got what's left of a splinter in my hand right now. Tweezers, non-adherent pads. These have been super nice as well. Another thing, you don't think you need it till you need it, but when you get a wound that is wet and everything keeps sticking to it, these are super nice. These guys, steri strips. Hopefully the lighting's good enough for you. Otherwise, you can look up what they are. Wound closures, but another thing, pretty cheap, super nice, good to have when you need it. Back here, I don't have anything stuffed back there, but I'll show you how fast I can just throw all this back together and get it good to go. And it's that easy. I mean, you get into it in a couple seconds, you get out of it in a couple seconds. You have everything memorized where it's at. In my case, I can honestly tell you the last time I was in here was for a Band-Aid a couple days ago or yesterday. I can't even freaking remember, but haven't been in here in a long time, and I can still just tell you this is the old crap one. This is every day. Rarely get into here, but you might. And then everyone knows that. And then my only problem with this setup is I put the scissors under there. There we go. So you see here, I got so much crap packed in here. It closes, but it's kind of a little wonky, but still closes. Pack as much as you can in there. Still got its nice waterproof seal. And then that's one of the other nice things too. As soon as it closes, you know, you're bouncing down a dirt road, side by side, whatever you're doing, drop it in a puddle, get back up. Everything's still in the same compartment. Your everyday didn't go into your old crap area, and your gels and everything like that didn't get lost. So it stays relatively where everything should be. And that's extreme use cases. I mean, I just hang it on the wall for 99% of its life, and it'll never get jacked up. So I touched on it a little bit. Got this little painter's tape area on the side. I just peeled some off and added some new onto it, so it's not the best job, but it's a really perfect spot to write down expiration dates with a Sharpie, write down med kit on the side, write whatever you want on it. And then if anything changes, you can just peel it off and pop a new date on or pop a different title on. Maybe you take the tourniquet out. Maybe this is 3 tourniquets in here, so you can write tourniquet Packout, and then when it's locked into a whole setup, and maybe it's halfway in between other stuff, you can still look at it from the side and say, okay, this is the one that I need to pull out. And you just pull that lever and it pops right back off. And I flew by it a little bit earlier, but a lot of this stuff, I'm not sure exactly which you can and which you can't, but you can purchase a good amount of this with an HSA, for sure FSA, but you can spend that saved up money that you just have sitting there on stuff that you can actually be using day to day instead of paying out of pocket. But even if you do have to pay out of pocket for some of it, I feel like it's worth having. And a lot of these websites and things nowadays, you can get it for pretty cheap, and it's still good quality materials. I had to go track down some of my leftovers. Oh, you can see they're pretty dirty. The good thing about these, I kind of glanced over it a little bit earlier, is how customizable it is. You can tell I took these 2 cups out. You could take those out and put another big one in. You could do all 3 big ones. You could just take them all out. You could do a little foam insert. You can do whatever you need to do. Same thing goes with the small guys. You can take these cups out. Obviously, you can't put a deep one in there, but you can do whatever you want and make each one customizable to exactly what you need, which it's a little pay to play with the Packout stuff, but I really like that because you're getting what you pay for, and you can make it exactly work for you. It's not like oh, I can't get it to do this, but it's cheap, so I just live with it type scenario. The thing that makes this really worthwhile for me is how much aftermarket or how much tinker support it has. You have so many different Packout mounts available online. You can purchase them. You can purchase metal ones. You can purchase the real Milwaukee ones, but they're really pricey. But you can get things that you can 3D print that cost you pennies, and you'll be able to mount this anywhere. And I'll put it up here on the pegboard in a second and show you. But basically, it's just little countersunk screws, and then you can see the lip it's got there that bites into this section right there. And obviously you can do one on the top, one on the bottom, and get it super sturdy. If I'm being honest, this is so strong, especially with these 2 holes. A lot of the times I'll just hook one up and it won't twist, and it'll stay on the wall, and it'll hold itself with just one the entire time. Never had one fall off, but I do have some heavier ones where I'll make sure I double down. I don't use these, but they're available. But it'll slide on that. Hopefully you can see. Let me see. It'll slide on that little clip, pop behind it, and it'll lock it. So if, well, that ain't locked, that'll fall. But if you have this mounted on a vehicle or on some medium that's bouncing around, you can have these 2 hooked on, lock it on with this, and then release it with a button, and it'll act like it's on some other Packouts, and it's super nice. It's a little bit more finicky to get it to set up and get everything to line up nice, but once again, it's super cheap and it'll never pop off. But for the situations I don't typically have to use these too often. I just use the other 2 or just one of the other ones, and it works perfectly. I just hooked this up here. I just got 1 screw holding it into the little pegboard just as an example. Obviously, if I was gonna have this be long-term, I'd do 2, or maybe I'd through bolt it with some 1/4-20s or whatever. But just as an example for you guys, super easy, one-handed, you got that up there. You kind of like put it up above it and let it fall down and guide itself onto it. And obviously you'd line it up nice and plumb when you do it, but I just got 1 screw. But it holds it really nicely. That thing ain't falling off. And then time comes you need it, you just grab it, pull it straight up, comes off super easily. Like I said, you can have kids do it. You can have people that aren't too mechanically inclined. They can catch on to it really quick. I could mount that sideways if I wanted to. And if I put another screw in it, it would hold itself like that. You could just pull it off this way. It fits to any scenario you need, which is super nice. And really like these things. I mean, if you got a little bit of money to spend and purchase one of these, I feel like it's definitely worthwhile to keep everything safe and to make everything more accessible and easy for you.